So we'll get started in just a moment, folks. So we're just waiting for a few others to join, and we'll get underway in just a moment. All right, good morning, everyone. I see we have about 138 people who have joined us. A few more will join as we proceed, but I think it's a good idea to get underway. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'm Brian Rosborough. I'm the Executive Director of AMO, and so I want to welcome you to this delegate orientation and just provide a few words before we start. So I will say, as we begin, that we're going to record this session in order that those who aren't able to attend are able to access it and learn from it as well. So just wanted you to be aware of that. And so with that, we'll get underway. I want to begin by saying thank you for being part of AMO's first ever virtual conference. So whether you're a registered delegate or a speaker or a sponsor or an exhibitor or one of our government partners, your participation in the conference is much appreciated. So you'll hear from my colleagues in just a moment about the technology and how to make the best of the virtual conference experience and the exhibit hall experience as well. So for me, I just wanted to take an opportunity to provide you with a few words of welcome and some context about the virtual conference as well. So when we realized in the spring that we really wouldn't be able to have an in-person conference, canceling the conference was never really an option to us because we knew that the conference was important to you. The AMO conference is really a very important event on the municipal calendar, and it really creates an important opportunity for municipalities and municipal leaders to get together and to share ideas. We also knew that we had a responsibility to create an opportunity for municipalities to gather and share some of the lessons learned from the COVID-19 emergency and pandemic. We also have board elections for the AMO board, which are important to us, and we didn't want to delay those unnecessarily. And we also knew that the AMO conference is an important moment of accountability for the Government of Ontario and for the other party leaders as well. Where else would you get access to ministers' forums, to Premier's speech, to speeches from the opposition leaders, and delegation meetings and so on. And in fact, this year we're having 3 ministers' forums instead of 1 because we felt that it would mean a better experience for the viewers, the delegates, and for the ministers as well. So there'll be 1 on each of the days of the conference, and you'll get to see that in the program in just a moment when we give you a tour. We also wanted to take this opportunity to do some innovative things with the conference. And so much has changed. Some of it will feel the same, but truly many aspects of the conference are different. So we've added some new programming, and we're especially excited about our partnership with TVO. Using a virtual format as we are, the broadcasting experience and the knowledge that the TVO staff have of the municipal sector is really going to add an important new dimension to our conference. So we're really excited about that. Some of the new programming that we're including, one thing that's brand new this year is a Women's Leadership Forum. We also have some networking opportunities that are new this year and will happen in the virtual environment. So as a delegate to the conference, you'll experience a combination of live and interactive sessions and some pre-recorded sessions, but you will have access to all of the sessions in our on-demand section during and after the conference. We've had quite a few questions about registrations and access to delegation meetings and things like that. And the answer to most of those questions is simply that, just as is the case in our in-person conference, you have to be a registered delegate to participate, just as all of you are. So whether it's a delegation meeting or voting in the election or attending a presentation, you have to be a registered delegate. And registrations are on an individual and non-transferable basis, just as they are for our in-person conference as well. So whether we are meeting in person as we have for 120 years or virtually as we are for the first time this year, we invest tremendous resources, time and energy in delivering a great high-value conference. And we're very grateful for your support. So thank you for participating in the 2020 AMO conference. Thank you for supporting AMO and the work that we do on your behalf. And thank you for attending today's orientation session. So with that, I'll conclude my remarks and turn it over to Petra, who has a few things to say. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian, and good morning, everyone. I'm Petra Wolfbeiss. I'm the Director of Membership for AMO. I just wanted to point out, I'm only going to say a few things just to point out some important pieces of information you should be looking for and a bit of orientation on the platforms before Victoria Van Veen, the AMO consultant on this year's conference, will actually take you through the platform. All of your mics are muted, but likely you are quite familiar with this at this point because we've all become Zoom experts. Feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A chat function. I'll be monitoring it and answering to the best of my ability. Whatever we cannot answer, we'll turn over to FMAV. We have Amber Cunningham and Chris Barron today with us. They have been working with AMO staff for the last few months to pull this together. They are the production end of our conference. So I feel very confident whatever questions you may have, we will be able to answer them. And this is just a very high level run through, familiarizing each of you with the platform, and you'll have an opportunity to see what we've been working on and what all of us feel really excited about to share today. So the virtual environment is not that new to most of us at this point, but virtual conferences may be. So for delegates, there's probably two key things you need to think about, and particularly voting delegates as well. You will be receiving on Friday an email from canada.chime.com. I can't read my own handwriting right now, but this did go out in a communication on Tuesday that will provide you with your conference login. So if you don't see it on Friday, you should be checking your junk and spam folders. This will be your main login to the conference platform where you can access the sessions, networking, or on demand, and as well get into the exhibit booth, which Poonam, my colleague, will be taking you through later. You will also be receiving a separate email from IntelliVote Canada, and this is only for voting delegates. You will know who you are. This will arrive on Sunday, and it will be coming from voterinfo@intellivote.com. And again, all of this information is available in the AMO communication that went out on Tuesday. So you can find that, and there's additional tips in that. I think that is all I will share with you, but it will be important for you to have these login credentials to enter the platform, to experience the conference, and then separately, there will be access to the voting through IntelliVote. I think that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you find this helpful, and the recording of this will be shared shortly. And I will now turn it over to Victoria.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Victoria Van Veen, I'm the conference coordinator. And this is my 10th year actually coordinating the AMO conference. So it's been a very interesting experience, and I'm really excited to share with you what we've been working on. So as Petra mentioned, you'll receive an email with I'm just going to share my screen actually, sorry. You'll receive an email that will have your, sorry, I'm getting a different thing than I'm used to. There we go. That will have your login, your username and your password. So when you get that email, once the conference goes live, which will be Sunday at noon, you'll be, or 12:30, you'll be able to come in and access the space. You're simply going to click through to the link that Petra had said, amo2020.can.chime.live, and you're going to put in your email address and your password that has been provided to you. You will note that there's a couple different things you can do here. If you forgot your password, here is where you click through to get your password reset. And there's also a link, direct link to the info booth. So this means that If you can't figure out how to log in, you haven't registered yet, or you have questions before you even get into the platform, you'll be able to access this from outside of the platform as well as inside. So this is your place to go. If you have any colleagues who are still looking to register on site, this is where they'll need to go. So you're just going to click login, and it takes you to this page. And as you can hopefully tell, it's the first floor of the Shaw Center. We really wanted to work hard at making it still appear as though we're being hosted by the City of Ottawa. They are our partners on this conference. So we've had this beautiful rendering of the first floor of the Shaw Center. And then you're just going to click start. And here we are. We're in the first floor of the Shaw Center again, but from the bottom view with the Parliament buildings in the background, even though realistically they're not there in Ottawa, but we still enjoyed playing around with looking like we're in Ottawa. So as you'll see, this is our main lobby, and there's different signs with different circles that you can click through. You get taken to different places within the platform. But the one I really want to highlight for you is over here. And this is our AMO information. This is the second of 3 ways to access the info booth right here. So if you were to click through to the info booth, you are opening an external link. It's going to take you to a Zoom scenario. And in that scenario, the experience will be that you'll be greeted by an AMO staff, and they're going to hear what your requests are, what your questions are, and they'll put you through to another room where all your questions will be answered. So this could be registration. This could be, I'm lost, I don't know where to get to my delegation meeting, I don't know how to access the program. It could be any of those things. So please don't hesitate to go in there and ask, and it will be queued based on a lineup of who arrives when. I think that's all I'm going to talk about in this area, except for, like I said, if you were to click through on Hydro One, it will take you through to their information page here. But you can always get back to the lobby here. Are there any questions right now that I should address?
No, Victoria, I think there are some that will be relevant later, so I'll just flag.
Okay, sure, thank you. So I'm just making sure I'm hitting everything that I'm supposed to. So the other areas that I want to highlight for you here is you'll see this button, live stream. This is one of 2 ways to access the plenary program content. So if you were to click that, whatever is happening in the general session at that time will appear here. You can move it around, you can make it bigger. That's where your main session content will be. Right now, that is not the AMO content, but just for reference point. So that is one way to access the main program space. Excuse me. On the left-hand side, what I want to highlight here is this is where all your main areas will be located. So as you can see, we have the home, we're in the lobby now. You can click, we have a welcome message from AMO president that's there. And then the next, one of the most important areas is the program. So this is where you're going to access any of the content. So this would be plenary program, when the breaks are, concurrent sessions, and you can do searches by day. So I can go Monday, here's what's happening. I can also select a track. What are the concurrent sessions on Monday? Where do I find those? What are the concurrent sessions on Tuesday? And you can filter like that. So there are different tracks here. And then there's an even finer level of tags. So you're not sure if the awards or what track they're in, but you know that you're interested in when the PJ awards are. So there you go on Monday. Or you want to know which day even where there's awards. So there's 2 opportunities or 2 awards being given on 2 different days. So this is the best way to filter if you know what you're looking for, and then you can just clear your filter there. The other great thing about this platform is that you can create your own agenda. So for example, I know I definitely want to see that, and I want to see that, and I'm really interested in that. So if you click on your agenda, it'll tell you what you've indicated that you'd like to attend. In order to attend it, I'm going to clear this. So in order to attend something, you click through. Right now there isn't anything because we haven't gone, the conference hasn't started, but there will be a link here where you can click through to watch that item. Like I said too, you can always click here and it will be a seamless view through of the entire plenary stage program, so you don't need to select through to different items. After the fact, if you missed something, it's now Tuesday and you want to go back and watch the premiere, you can come back here and click on the premiere or whomever it is that you want to see, and it will be, there will be a link to see that content again. Are there any questions here? No, we're good to
Sorry.
move. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
I'm typing.
I can't see you, so.
I know. So there was one question right here, and it's a good one. So if you select the day and every single meeting taking place will be listed, is a question. The answer to that is yes. And the other one, is a delegate only able to click on a meeting if they are specifically registered for that meeting? You may want to answer that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So no, similarly to this, selecting this here does not register you. It's just for your own personal curation of what you want to see. But similar to the AMO conference, there's no pre-registration required for the different concurrent sessions in particular. So you would just click through, you find the one that you're interested in. There's the write-up. There's going to be the link to view it. And you'll also see the speakers that are listed here as well. So no, it's open for whomever is registered for the conference.
Victoria, I think there's two other things that you may want to answer, because I've answered a question on one of the several of these questions. So the first one is about delegation meetings. People are wondering how to access them, when they will get information to do that. I know you may be getting into that a little bit later, but it is coming up, so you may want to speak to it. And then I have one other for you.
Okay, I'm just going to go down in order. So delegation meetings will be the next thing after this, if that's okay. I will definitely get to that, and I think I can anticipate every single question that might be coming up about those.
So I think it's useful just for everyone to hold off for a minute. I know there's lots of questions. We get them too. Two other ones, Victoria, I just want to flag quickly for you, and then we'll hand it over. There's a question that came on about logging in with multiple devices with the same login information, i.e. cell phone, laptop, etc. So that's one. The other one is there a distinction between live events and recorded, and can folks access recorded events before their program time in the program? So I will say no to that, not until, and you
That's
can,
correct. Yeah, you can't access it, even though it's pre-recorded content, it's still going to be released in a manner as though it were live. So you'd be seeing it, it's a shared viewing experience. In terms of the, but sorry, let me back up. You can view it afterward though. We still want to have the plenary experience where there's certain timed events, but you'll always be able to view it after the fact. And just so you know too, the conference platform will be available for 30 days afterwards. So you'll have a good amount of time to be able to get in and see any of that content. So, you know, something sparks something from a concurrent session within the next 4 weeks, you'll still be able to go back and view that again and get that contact information of that speaker, etc. I will let Chris or Amber speak to the other question about logging into multiple platform or on multiple devices.
I can take this one. You will not be able to log in with multiple devices simultaneously. If you are logged in with a laptop and you choose to log in with a tablet, the system will log you out of the laptop. It will log you out of the last device you were in when you log into a new device.
Sorry. There's one more I'm just going to flag for you, Victoria, for when you do get into the delegation aspects, and that is just confirming. Some folks I've received email have been receiving emails from saying that AMO will send the Zoom link, and you may have answered that just now, but I apologize, I may have missed it.
How about I skip ahead to delegation meetings and then we'll go back to board elections? I feel like that might be where people are feeling a pinch right now.
I think so. That's a good
Okay.
idea.
Okay. So delegation meetings. So as you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a drop down for delegation meetings, and you can click through to the area of which you have a delegation meeting. So we're going to, oh, there's a typo. We're going to start here. So government delegation meetings, you'll see along the top the day of which you have a delegation meeting. So similarly to the live conference, the registered delegate must know who they're meeting with and when. So that is an internal registration process that happens directly with the delegate and with the ministry in question. So for example, if you are told, okay, confirmed you have a delegation meeting with Minister Clark on Sunday at 3 p.m. Before 3 p.m., 5 or 10 minutes before, similarly to in a live thing, you would go make sure you know where you're going, make sure you have the right spot, and you would check in. So you would come over to delegation meetings, government, Sunday, and this is where you go. And you're going to click through to your delegation meeting with the Minister Clark. It's not open right now, but it will open into a Zoom link where you will be allowed into the space by the ministerial staff. They will then guide you through the process of making sure your name is as it should be, that you have your full delegation with you, and they will put you into the meeting space with the minister, and they will guide you out once your meeting is over. So I'm going to show you Monday because it's a bit more, not complicated, but complex. So here you see there's a whole bunch of different ministerial meetings happening. So I'm trying to find an example because there are examples whereby there could be two separate rooms, one for the minister and one for the PA, but they're not jumping out at me at this point in time. But again, if there is that situation that you need to know which one it is that you're attending. Are you meeting with the PA? Are you meeting with the minister? If it's a separate room. So they will be listed separately by room. I am confident that there are some questions.
There are, and many of them seem to be around registration and access. So I'll take a moment, Victoria, and then feel free to just finish or add in what I may have missed. Everyone who is participating either in the conference or in scheduled delegation meetings with ministers or their PAs need to be registered for the conference. You cannot, this has always been the case, even when we've had our live events, as Brian mentioned earlier. So you will need to be registered. And this may actually be a question for Poonam, I'm not sure. But there's also questions that are asking about changing participants who, the actual people that are attending the meetings from those who may have been registered previously, or the names that were given to the ministries to participate. So I will turn it over either to Victoria or Poonam to respond to that. But at the end of the day, to participate in any element of the conference, including the delegations, you will need to be registered.
Thank you, Petra. I will respond to the substitution. So as Victoria walked you through, you will come to the info booth during the hours. The info booth is open, and you'll be met with one of our staff there, and we will change your registration. We will make the substitution on site at that time. Victoria, you can respond to that.
Yeah, no, that's great. Are there any other questions in this area?
One very quick one. So I'm raising the ones because I'm getting private chats and also the group chats. So the ones I'm bringing up right now are in the private chats. And I'm not sure about this one, but I'm assuming it's the case. So each person who's registered at the conference, but is also participating in a delegation, I'm assuming Victoria will receive, each of them will receive the Zoom link for the meeting. There won't just be a group Zoom link.
No Zoom links are going to be sent out to any delegates attending a delegation meeting. This is the way in which to access the delegation meeting. It's from within the conference platform, so you will come and enter just through this method here. No Zoom links are going to be sent out.
But meeting details will be, as you mentioned.
Meeting details. So similarly to in the live conference where you'd get an email, or I don't know, you were confirming that you have a delegation meeting with the Honorable Ernie Hardiman on Monday, August 17th at 2 p.m. We will be meeting you in the Maple Room at the Westin Hotel. The only difference is you have a confirmed delegation meeting with the Honorable Ernie Hardiman on Monday, August 17th at 2 p.m. Please enter his meeting space through the conference platform. And that will still come directly from the ministry's offices.
If folks having difficulty hearing me, I just received one message from this, and I apologize if that's the case. One other question, there are folks who are bringing industry experts to their delegation meetings, and I'm just wondering, there's lots of questions around this, Victoria, and how you want to manage this at this point. If we want to take a few minutes at the end just to get into delegation specific questions, because it may detract from actually being able to go through the platform. I'd like your recommendation on that.
I would like to do that if that's possible. I think that we could easily get sidelined, and I think many people also want to see the other components of the conference. So if that's the way you're feeling and that's what my sense is, then I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, I'll monitor them.
Okay.
But if it continues at this volume, it might be useful just to take a few minutes to go through them specifically. I think the navigation of the platform is something that's important for everyone that's on here.
Okay, thank you. Just interrupt me, Petra, if you want me to take a break and get back into delegation meetings.
Sure.
Okay, so let's go back to board elections. As you know, there are AMO board elections this year, so this is where you'll find all the information about that. As Petra mentioned, if you're eligible to vote, you'll receive an email directly from IntelliVote with your voting credentials. So this is not the place you will go to actually do your voting. This is just where all the information is for you to view, including information about all the candidates. So, for example, I'm trying to find someone that I know did a video. So this would be where you could view their candidate video as well with their candidate speech. So I don't want to show it right now, but you'll see all the caucuses are along the top. And that's where you'll come to get that information, but you still will need to return back to that email from IntelliVote to do your actual voting. As you can see, voting is open from 8 a.m. Monday until 10 a.m. on Tuesday. I will also say some of the content of this platform is still being updated. So if you see something missing, which I just did, that's okay. It's not final. So I just want to flag that for you. Any questions around elections information? Okay.
I'll give me a minute. Just go ahead and then I will.
Okay. We're going to go ahead. I'm now going to turn it over to Poonam. I will continue to share my screen, and Poonam's just going to let me know how she'd like me to guide through this next section. So I will turn off my camera and
Good morning, everyone. I'm Poonam Ruparelia, the Special Event Coordinator at AMO. Thank you, Victoria, for helping me guide this. So if we can go over to the left side on the Exhibitors tab, to the very top one. Okay, so we'll click on the hours first so we can show you what the hours for the exhibit hall are. On Monday, we have extended hours. It'll go from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We've given you the afternoon to spend with the exhibitors and explore the booths. Next, if we can just go over to the exhibitors. Here we have a listing of all of the exhibitors. And if I can click on any one of them. Yes. Great. So you can access the exhibit hall from the line that says go to AMO LAS booth. So if you were to click on that, a separate window will open up on your device and it brings you right through to the AMO exhibit hall. If you could click the arrow that says back to the floor. So now here we have, if you could click on the lobby, please, at the top. This is the exhibit hall or the sponsor lobby. And we've listed all of the areas that you can browse through for the exhibit hall here. We've got the exhibit hall itself. We've got the leaderboard game and prize center. And we've also got an information desk. So if you're having any issues accessing any of the booths or any of the resources, you could go to the information desk. And Victoria, if you could please click on that at the top. Here we go. And here, if you just click on the button that says click here for tech support will be on hand. They will give you information on anything that you require on accessing and navigating the exhibit hall and the exhibit hall lobby or the game. And if you could click on the exhibit hall once to show you how to access the exhibitors. So we've had a lot of fun with doing this. The exhibitors are all very happy and they're excited to meet with our delegates. We've got an exhibitor listing here in the index at the bottom left, and you can scroll through. You could click on any one of them and that they will bring you through to that particular exhibit booth as well. And on this tab here, are all the resources that are noted. If you were to click on the chat button, you could start to engage with the booth staff. It's not live yet, so when the event goes live, you'll be able to engage and you'll be able to converse with them. You could have group chats as well. Thank you, Victoria. And if you want to go back to the main conference lobby, you have two windows open on your screen. You can just go to the very top and go back into the conference platform, and then browse any of the other areas that you're wanting to go to, any of the other sessions. Thank you. Any questions on navigating the exhibit hall?
Can you quickly just highlight for them, Poonam, how to get some of the resources, the video, and that process for them?
For sure. So we have something called the Delegate Kit Buy that's been sponsored, which is where you'll collect a lot of the resources. Every single any of these you can click on and you can add to your, just on the right hand side, you could just do a little click and it'll get added into your delegate kit. And at the end of the day, you can collect a lot of these resources. These resources are also available at each individual booth. Even the videos, a lot of the booths, yeah, they get added onto your, and you'll have them all throughout. Again, the entire exhibit hall is going to be available to you for 30 days post the event. Thanks, Victoria. A lot of the images within the booth are linked to videos, but you can also just go to the video vault up on top and watch any of the videos that have been added by the exhibitors. The most important feature, lots of fun collaterals here, a lot of different ways to engage. But when you want to directly chat with a booth staff, you have to click on either the video or the chat button. The video will take you into a direct Zoom meeting with them, and a lot of our exhibitors are scheduling some sessions, some appointments to engage with delegates, and they will have those hours listed. Any other questions? How to navigate this space? Victoria, can we go back into the exhibit hall lobby? And then back, you just click over and we're back on the main conference platform. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you, Poonam.
Thank you.
There's no questions here, Petra?
Nope, there's not, but we will be busy on the delegation questions.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll just keep going through here, and I'm not going to spend too much time on these areas, but just here's where we can see the sponsors. Here's where all the bios and headshots for the speakers are. This is not final either. There's the concurrent session speakers, and then there will be plenary speakers at the next tab over. This is another section that will be of interest to you. We have curated a bunch of content for you that is not necessarily a part of the conference program, but it's got a lot of extra additional educational videos and speakers for you. So you can view this. We're calling this the on-demand section. This is kind of the Netflix of our conference. You can view this at any time. It'll be available from the day one of conference until the very end. So you can view this whenever suits you. We do have a Delegates Lounge sponsored by CIBC. Oops. See, I'm still trying to get used to it all. So this will be an opportunity. Oh, they must be working on it because it's not opening up. This is a space where you can connect via chat and also by video. And it's an opportunity in the video chat, not just to connect with CIBC. It's not a booth. It's there's different networking rooms open where you can meet with different people. On 2 different days, on Tuesday, there is a women's networking group, and on Wednesday, there's a youth networking group, and this is where you will access those areas as well. And yeah, they're definitely working on all the, oh, so here you can see where you can access, and it will tell you how many people are in the room, and it's a really neat function. You can actually have conversations, different conversations happening, and you join different people's tables. I really encourage you to check it out. It's really interesting. And then there is also just a type chat forum as well. So as I said off the start, Ottawa Tourism is still our official conference host. So they've created a little choose your own adventure game for you based on their tourist attractions. And I'm not going to show you through it because I think it's fun and I'd like you to have the experience on your own. Couple more items I'd like to highlight. There's the Attendee Hub. This is where your name will be pre-populated, but it's up to you to populate any other information you'd like. So a photo, you can put in a bio, you can create your business card, and then you can connect with people using your business card. And then you'll see your connections listed here. I have none yet, so I hope that will change as the conference starts. You can also chat directly with people here. I believe you can chat with up to 5 people at a time. So I really encourage you when we open up on the Sunday, because there's only minimal things you can do. This would be a great place to start to get you all set up for interacting on the Monday morning. We also have a photo wall, so please, we want to see your pictures of you accessing the conference from your dock, from your council office, from your backyard. Let's celebrate the new normal of this conference and being able to access it from where we are. The feedback form, we're going to be sending out a survey after the conference as we normally do, but we also have this option here for you. As you view different content, you can come and provide feedback on that particular piece of content. So plenary program, leadership forum, rate it, and then please provide any feedback. So we encourage you to do that throughout the conference. It's not a one-time thing. As you view a concurrent session, and remember, you can view it either live with the live Q&A, or you can view it after the fact. So theoretically, you could be viewing all 14 of the concurrent sessions and be providing feedback on all of those concurrent sessions. This is the third and last way to access the info booth. It's right there. And the last function I want to show you is notes. You can take all your notes as you're viewing. You could have these two things open at once. You could be taking notes as you go. And then at the end of the conference, you can email yourself all your notes, which is a fantastic function. We don't need to worry about all those little pads of papers and pens at the venue. So that is the overview of the conference platform. I hope that, I know there's still many questions around the delegation meetings, but I hope that, oh look, they must be working on this again. I hope that we've been able to answer most of your questions and provided a level of comfort for you and for the people that you're here gathering information for on how to access the conference. So I will turn it back to Petra to continue the Q&A.
Thanks, Victoria. I do have one question around networking sessions, which is a good one. And then just if I could ask for everyone's patience as I scroll through the many delegation questions. We want to make sure we get to all of them. I do think we have enough time to do that. So this one is, in terms of the networking groups, do they connect to a Zoom meeting function similarly to the delegations?
Correct.
So I think maybe just reviewing how.
Absolutely.
Perhaps show it as well if you can.
I feel like I can't show it right now. Okay. I don't know if Amber or Chris could jump in on if Marion's working on content, and that's why this is doing this. Oh, Control-Alt-R. No, okay. Anyhow, it will function like a Zoom meeting. A lot of the functionality will be like that. So we do recommend that you have Zoom downloaded already to your computer. That will assist you and make this a far more seamless engagement with the conference. So for each of those networking sessions, there will be hosts who will be sort of guiding, you know, the conversation a bit and providing some structure to that space. But you will access it on the lounge. You'll go into the lounge and there will be a clear indication of where to go. You can also access it through the program. So if I select networking, there's none on Monday. Okay. Okay. See, this is good for me to know. You could also access it directly through the program.
Thank you. Two other questions. The first one is a photo wall question. Delegates love taking photos with the minister or PA. Is there an AMO logo or watermark we can use in a photo, like in the background?
That is a good question.
I think I can take this one.
Thank you.
There is not, unfortunately, any step and repeat or anything like that incorporated into the photo wall tool.
So the only option would be on the delegate end, editing a logo on top of it themselves.
Correct.
Thanks, Chris. There's a couple of questions similar to this. Are the concurrent sessions on demand with live Q&A at a particular time? Victoria, it might be helpful just to say a few things in terms of the distinction on those two.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Sorry, Victoria. And also when people will be able to access sessions they may not have been able to participate in.
So I'll start with walking through the concurrent sessions. We have tried to make this as uniform as possible. So the 3 days, the concurrent sessions are all at the same time at 11:45. So what you'll do is you'll click through to the concurrent sessions and then you'll see the selection for that day. These concurrent sessions when they're within the program, which means it's listed as happening at 11:45 on Tuesday, there will be a live Q&A with the panelists as part of these concurrent sessions. After the fact, you'll be able to access the content, including the recorded Q&A. In terms of when you'll be able to access that, I believe it's not an immediate turnaround. I believe it's at least a few hours, but I'll let Chris confirm that.
Could be up to 24 hours before the archives of the Q&A sessions are available.
Okay, thank you. So it's extra good that we'll have 30 days of the conference platform to be able to go back and access that content. But yes, if it's a concurrent session that's listed for 11:45 on Tuesday, you'll only be able to access it for the first time at that time, and then participate in the live Q&A, but it will be available after that. Does that answer that set of questions, Petra?
Yes, I think it does. And forgive me if you did mention how people will be able to access the content post-conference.
Through the agenda program. It's going, so if there's something that you want to see, it's now, you know, the first week of September, and you think, oh gee, I missed that green recovery session, you're going to come back here and watch it here.
Okay. And just to let folks know that we will be sending out the recording of this orientation prior to Sunday at noon when the conference does launch. I think because there's so much interest in it, we'll probably do it as a broad communication to everybody. So I think there were lots of questions about the info booth that I've been responding to. It's in the live chat, in the chat section to everybody I responded. I will also ask Brittany that we download all of the questions that we've received in the event for some reason we weren't able to get to it during this demonstration. When we send out the link to the recording, if we feel there are some really key questions that continue to come up, we will answer it in that communication as well. So I think we're down to 12 minutes, and delegations are the hot topic. And if you just let me scroll through questions as quick as I can so we can get to all of them, I think it's important. So Victoria, do you think we've been able to sufficiently answer the question about how folks will get confirmation of their meeting times? I think we need to reiterate that, as you said, you will not receive a link that will take you directly into the room. You will have to go through the conference platform. Perhaps a quick reminder of what people do then to get to the delegation meeting. If you could,
Sure.
let's start there.
So you've got your email with your confirmed meeting details, and those details will be the ministry, the person, and the time. So knowing that, you're going to say, I have a delegation meeting on Tuesday with Ministry of Economic Development, the Honorable Sarkaria. So if your meeting is at 2 o'clock, a few minutes prior, you're going to come over to Delegation Meetings, Government Delegations, Tuesday, and find the Honorable Sarkaria. And you'll click through to here. At that point, the ministerial staff will guide you through the meeting space process. You will be put into a waiting room similarly to this webinar, and then you will be greeted by the staff who will walk you through, and by walk you through, I mean move you by taking your name and putting you in a different space when your meeting is ready to happen. Does that answer the?
I think that's really helpful, and I think I'm just going to take a moment to make the clear distinction.
Please.
Ministries, it's individual ministry and staff will provide confirmation of the meeting date and time. That's one thing. To access the meeting, you need to be registered delegate. You need to go through the AMO registration. You will be receiving your login details on Friday, which I believe is tomorrow. I've lost complete track of everything. On Friday from Chime Live through. Once you are in to the platform, then you can find the details. We have a number of questions related to, and we did touch on this, related to switching out participation. I've answered to a few folks. You can also get in touch directly with Poonam, who can assist in some of the switch outs and your registration. There was a question around inviting an industry support person to attend our delegation meeting with the minister. How is this accomplished? Similar process, they do need to be registered. If there's something different, Victoria, do you want to speak to that?
No, that's correct. How you said that they need to be registered, and they can go through to the info booth to make any switches.
Okay. Just give me a moment. I'm just scrolling through to make sure if there's anything you want
I
to
was just
highlight.
quickly scrolling through as well, Petra, and I saw a question of how will they know who is supposed to be in the meeting, and that is based on a couple things. One, you would have provided a list to the ministry, but understand that sometimes that list changes, and so there will be a process by which ministerial staff will just confirm that everyone in that meeting is supposed to be there. So they will do that based off their list, and then also by connecting with you in real time over video or audio, just to confirm that the proper people are there. So there is still that flexibility for, you know, oh, so-and-so is no longer able to come, but this person from my council is here instead. There's still that flexibility.
Thank
I hope
you.
that answers that question.
I'm going to answer. I'll take these and feel free to jump in just quickly. Within a, if you'd like, Victoria, within a delegation, are participants able to share slides or information? I think the host could give you a screen sharing capability. Chris may want to speak to that as well, but I assume similar to other Zoom meetings, that is a possibility.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. I am having a bit of a trouble hearing you, Petra.
Yeah,
I'm having no problem. But.
Yeah, it's okay. So folks are asking, so you have a delegation, some meeting with a minister, they may want to present, go through the slide deck. Will the host of that meeting be able to give a screen sharing capacity to participants?
Yes, the host will be able to do that if they wish to. Yes.
Okay, thank you. There is a waiting room in the delegation. Victoria, I think, did a pretty good job going through the process of once you enter your delegation link meeting that you will access through the AMO conference platform. You will meet ministry staff who will confirm your meeting, and you will be put in a waiting room. Very similar to this meeting today. When you are done, you can leave by pressing leave. Obviously, hosts, as in all Zoom meetings, have the capability to kick people out of meetings or stop meetings if that is required, but you just can do that by clicking on the leave button. Another one that came up was, and I'm not sure exactly what this means, but Victoria, you may understand. How will AMO know who is in the meeting since some names have changed since submitting the request? My thinking is that it all comes down to the delegate registration again, but do you want to speak to that?
AMO actually doesn't ever have a list of who's attending each delegation meeting. That is managed directly by each ministry. So they will have your list that you sent, and then if that changes, when you all gather and check in with the ministerial staff, you can amend that list at that time with them.
Okay. This one, I'm assuming this is from someone within the province. If you are in a PA's office or minister's office, is the process of adding the delegation the same?
Correct. So I actually found this an example. I think it was on Tuesday. Here we go. Ministry of Education. You can see you could be meeting with Minister Lecce, or you could be meeting with PA Oosterhoff. So you'll see how they're separated out. It's the same process.
Okay, thank you. I have another just logistical question about sharing PowerPoints, and I think we did address that, or PDFs through Chris. And some of these questions really should be targeted to your ministry contracts in terms of the option to submit presentations. That's some of those logistics. I don't know if you know these, Victoria. Just about providing copies. I'm assuming you can probably email contacts at the ministry in advance if that's your preference. I'm not sure about those details. Victoria, are you?
I am not. So if that's something you need to confirm with them, I would do that prior to your delegation meeting.
Okay. Just conscious of the time. I think these are good ones. I have put Poonam's name into the all attendees chat. You can get in touch with her about registrations that were previously canceled, and if you're looking to re-register. So those registration questions can be answered by Poonam. Her email is in the chat, but it is also on our website, which is amo.on.ca. We have a question here around the ministers' forums. Will we know will we know in advance if our ministers' forum questions have been approved? I don't know if we have an approval process as much as a sorting process, but Victoria, you can speak
No,
to that.
we won't know in advance. I do know that they are being worked through. And then further to which day your question will be asked at. So when you submitted your question, it was asked which one you wanted it submitted to, which theme, and then it was asked which minister. So if your question is chosen, that minister's only, save Minister Clark, the rest of them are only attending one forum, so it would be that forum that it would be asked at.
Okay, I'm just going to move through quickly some of these. They're registration specific. Someone's asking, is it possible to have one registration that we move between each of the folks attending delegation meetings? No, that's not the case. To my understanding, I think everyone who is participating needs to register. Was the answer on industry professionals attending delegation meetings answered? Yes, it was. You responded to that. It's similar to all the other delegation registration questions. Is that correct, Victoria?
Correct.
Okay. There will be full instructions on how to vote coming by email. I did put information in the chat as well in terms of the email coming on Sunday from IntelliVote. It will give you all of your login details that will allow you to vote in the AMO board meetings and president meeting. Do you want to say anything more about that, Victoria?
Nope.
About that process? Okay.
Except for to say that there is a helpline if there's any issues. So you will be fully supported if you have any concerns or questions.
Yeah, our info booth will be very robust, both with AMO staff who can respond to registration questions and actually register people on site, answer lots of questions. We will have a number of FMEV tech folks. We will also have connections to IntelliVotes. So it'll be quite robust. One more question here, I think that's important. Do ministers' office PAs log into their delegation meetings the same way? They just stay in the room for the duration of their meetings? Should we advise them to connect with Jen?
Yeah, I don't think that's the purpose of this call. They've all received their instructions directly.
Okay. I think those are the key ones. We had a few came up about sharing presentations with the ministry. I believe Victoria did answer that earlier. I would just ask right now if there's any other pressing delegation meeting questions. One last one, if you want to type it in either into the chat or the Q&A. You have a few seconds to do that. I'll just wait for a moment. And again, you can also reach out to us after this presentation at any time. If you have questions, we're happy to answer and take you through it, any of this.
I do see a question here. How long before a delegation meeting? 5 minutes before start. I think that's probably sufficient. I would maybe do 10 minutes if you're anxious, and they will move you through at the pace that they're working at.
Okay, so I think I don't know, Victoria, if you want to speak to any more platform elements, or if we can just turn it over to Brian to wrap up today's meeting.
I think that's everything I wanted to say. I'm really proud of the work that we've done, and it's really exciting to see it all come to fruition. So with that, I will pass it over to Brian.
Thanks, Victoria, and Petra and everybody else. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This is an entirely new experience, certainly for us, and I know it is for you too. So we're trying to do everything we can to make it as seamless as possible. In many ways, this is just like our traditional conference with the same kind of rules applying, but access is much more complicated because we need individualized logins for the conference and for voting and so on. But I think we've done a good job of answering the questions. They're good questions and much appreciated. And as I mentioned earlier, this will be recorded and available to others who didn't have a chance to be here today. So thank you very much for participating. Thank you for being a part of our conference this year. We are very excited and energized about the conference that we're going to deliver, and you guys are the most important part of that. So thank you very much for your interest in AMO and this conference, and we look forward to seeing you in a few days. Thanks.